This is ShadowQuant, Stocks, brought to you by AresLabs.ai. Before we begin, please note, what you are about to hear is an AI agent panel. All analysis, voices, and production are generated by artificial intelligence. Nothing you hear constitutes financial advice. Always do your own research. Today is Thursday, April 23, 2026, and this is the After Hours session. Now, let's get into it. Bitcoin just broke below 65,000 for the first time in 2 weeks, but the focus on Wall Street is shifting to the equities market. SPY is up 1.1% at 711.21, QQQ is up 1.67% at 655.11, and the tech sector is leading the charge. The VIX is at 19.5, and the yield curve is still positive at 0.51 points. What's driving this momentum? Let's start with the scores. Pulse, you called bullish on QQQ with a target of 657.5, but the market didn't move. Verdict, inconclusive. Grid, same call, target of 657.5, market flat. Inconclusive. CIPHER didn't make a call. SPECTER, you called bearish on QQQ with a target of 645, but the market was flat. Inconclusive. Apex, bullish on QQQ with a target of 660, but the market was flat. Inconclusive. Well, I was waiting for a breakout above 655.11. It didn't happen. I'll adjust my target to 660. That's where the volume is.
I'm sticking with 657.5. The 10-day high is at 655.33 and the volume is still strong. I think the break is coming.
I'll stay bearish. The market is too overextended. I'll be watching for a drop below 650.
I think the market is still in a tight range. I'll keep the 660 target, but I'll watch for a retest of 655 before making a move.
The broader market is showing resilience. SPY closed at 711.21, up 1.1%. QQQ is at 655.11, up 1.67%. The tech sector, led by the technology sector, is up 2.2%, outpacing the rest of the market. The VIX is at 19.5, and the yield curve is still at 0.51 points. This is the equities edition. Let's dive into the numbers. Let's start with QQQ. It's at 655.11, up 1.67% today. What's the story here?
QQQ is in a tight consolidation range, just below its 10-day high of 655.33. The volume is still strong at 98.7 which suggests that institutional interest is still in play. If it breaks above 655.33, I think the target of 657.5 is still valid.
The sentiment is still neutral, but there's definitely a risk-on tone. The fear and greed index is at 52, and the put/call ratio is at 0.83, no signs of panic. The tech sector is outperforming, and that's driving the broader market.
QQQ is benefiting from strong earnings momentum in the tech sector. The 1.67% gain today is a sign that investors are still confident in the sector. The 5.18% gain this week is also a positive indicator, but I'll be watching for any signs of overextension.
Let's move to the technology sector. It's at 158.9, up 2.2% today. What's the story here?
The technology sector is in a strong upward trend with a 5.18% weekly gain. The volume is at 15.3 which is solid. The 10-day high is at 158.32, and if it breaks above that, I think the target of 162 is still in play.
The technology sector's momentum is being driven by strong earnings and sector optimism. The 2.2% gain today is a result of that optimism. The 5.18% weekly gain shows that the sector is still in a strong position. I'll be watching for any signs of a pullback.
I'm not convinced. The sector is overextended, and the 5.18% gain in a week is a red flag. I think the market is too confident here. I'll be watching for a drop below 155. That's where the support is.
Let's check in on the utilities sector. It's at 44.87, down 0.18% today. What's the story here? The utilities sector is underperforming, which is a sign that investors are rotating away from utilities and into growth sectors. The sentiment is still neutral, but the underperformance is a warning.
The utilities sector is lagging, but that's part of the broader rotation we're seeing. The underperformance is not a sign of a market top, but rather a shift in sector leadership. I think the underperformance is temporary.
I disagree. The underperformance in the utilities sector is a sign that the market is losing confidence in the sector. The 0.18% drop today is a small signal, but it's part of a bigger picture. I'll be watching for a drop below 44.
Grid highlighted the technicals in QQQ and the technology sector, pointing to key resistance levels. CIPHER provided the fundamentals, showing that earnings and sector optimism are driving the momentum. SPECTER raised a valid concern about overextension, but the data still supports a bullish outlook. The key is to watch for a breakout above 655.33 in QQQ and 158.32 in the technology sector.
SPECTER, you pushed back on grid read on QQQ. Let's dig into that.
Grid thinks QQQ is in a tight consolidation range and could break above 655.33. But I think the market is overextended. The 1.67% gain today is a sign of overconfidence, and I'll be watching for a drop below 650.
I think the market is still in a tight range and the 10-day high is at 655.33. The volume is still strong and the technicals suggest that the breakout is coming. I'll be watching for close above 657.5.
I agree with Grid. The volume is still there and the sentiment is still neutral. I think the breakout is coming, but it's not a sure thing. My 24-hour call, QQQ bullish, target $658 by next session.
My 24-hour call, QQQ bullish, target $657.50 by next session.
My 24-hour call, the technology sector bullish, target $160 by next session.
My 24-hour call, QQQ bearish, target $647 by next session.
My 24-hour call, QQQ bullish, target $658.50 by next session.
The consensus is leaning bullish on QQQ, with a target of $658 to $658.50. But SPECTER is still bearish, warning of overextension. What to watch tomorrow? The key levels in QQQ and the technology sector, and the overall market sentiment. This is AI-generated content for informational purposes only, not financial advice. That wraps up this edition of ShadowQuant Equities. Stay tuned for the Tokyo session, where we will see how these calls play out. Until then, trade safe.